Hello, I am Purple Rain, coach of the Damascus Driftblims, and this is my Week 1 playoff match against Jayballester. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but it's against Jay. And let me look up how to say their name. I think it's I don't want to pronounce it wrong, because now it's playoffs. I should at least be getting their name right. Is there in the Landorus division? The Mallorca Mawwiles. I hope I said that right. Uh, anyways, this is the matchup. So a couple things to note. My opponent has no Tailwind option, with the exception of Masquerain. I don't think it's a real Pokemon against me, especially. I think it's bad, but no real Tailwind. Instead, bulky screen support, and a lot of natural speed and booster speed option with what's his name, with Iron Bundle, and then Trick Room mode with Mudsdale is also an option, although fairly weak given Mudsdale's the only Trick Room mon. So definitely what I focused more on was a lot of this natural speed. I don't really anticipate a Trick Room mode, although it's possible. And bulky screen support stuff is also something I have to watch out for. Okay, so what's my team? So anything else that I need to really pay attention to here? Unfortunately for me, huge ice weakness. I have found it a problem all season, I think. Well, not all season, but a good amount of the season, that my ice weakness, I've not been able to take advantage of opponents' ice weaknesses. I also think Bundle, especially, is a really good matchup into me, because if you look at how bad I am into ice types, I am pretty horrible. And Gyarados is actually a 4x weakness because it's freeze dry. Um, so I have a lot of weaknesses to this, to ice. And to Bundle, especially because, Heatran 4x resists freeze dry, but it, does not take hydro pumps too well. So yeah, that's a concern for me. And concern, Booster Bundle is faster than my booster Pokemon, so that's always a concern, especially because Dragapult could then outspeed Roaring Moon on top of it. So, concerning. Uh, yeah, and then screens, like I said, is a problem, especially with a Pokemon like Ape. I don't have any good ghost moves, so I have the answer to Ape is pretty obvious. Like, if a Terra Electric seems very obvious to me as a good defensive Terra for Ape. Um, so yeah, there's all my concerns, or all my big concerns. Like, I have to be able to consistently get Tailwind up in order to win the Speed War, because I don't really want to be going into Trick Room with Mudsdale as an option and screens to sort of like make it so I am delayed. Like, the screens are like, my opponent can play defensive enough that I don't think I can take full advantage of Trick Room. Um, and especially because, like, my slow Pokemon, with the exception of Flapple, but Flapple's inconsistent, don't really love uh don't blow things up. They sort of sit on the field. Like, Gyarados is a slower one of my Pokemon. Heatran's slower one of my Pokemon. Knucklestack's a slow Pokemon for me. Um, all these Pokemon want to do is they want to sit on the field and, like, outvalue my opponent. And Trick Room isn't good for that, because Trick Room, it wants to blow things up. It wants to be very aggressive. Uh, so my opponent can't take advantage when we're out of Trick Room. And I can't really do that effectively with this team. So I don't think Trick Room is a super viable option to me. Not to mention, like I said, Mudsdale is just a really great matchup into Heatran. Um, so one of my best slower Pokemon has a horrible matchup into my opponent's best slow Pokemon. So for that reason, Trick Room doesn't seem viable. So I have to commit to getting Tailwind up. So how am I going to do that? through this team. I decided to go Booster Speed Roaring Moon. Um, this is EV to have enough attack to KO, to when Terra flying with acrobatics, KO Annihilate through um, KO Annihilate with 252 HP for defense. Yeah, that's basically what it's doing. Then we have, and it has Tailwind, so that way it can outspeed, Booster. It's got Tailwind, so my team can outspeed Booster Bundle in some ways, and also it's got I've got ways of dealing with some of the other faster Pokemon like Dragapult in general. Tailwind seems really important to consistently get set up for me. I have Ted Lasso, my Heatran. I decided to go AV because, as I mentioned before, Heatran doesn't like taking Hydro Pumps, but I do think it has an overall good matchup into my opponent's team. Obviously, Mudsdale's a concern. The fighting moves are a concern, and Hydro Pump's a concern. But Heatran's just such a good Pokemon. Like I want it here, and I think that Assault Vest will let it handle the Hydro Pumps better than other Pokemon. Uh, and so then it can be kind of like an answer to Bundle in that it can sit on the field while Bundle is sitting on the field. I believe is EV to outspeed non-booster Bundle in Tailwind. Yeah. Or maybe even Electrode, although, yeah, I think it outspeeds Electrode in Tailwind as well. But that might be wrong. I'm actually going to double check that. Okay, it does not outspeed Electrode when in Tailwind, but it doesn't really need to. It's not super important, and Electrode's probably not going to be max speed anyways. There's a limit on how much speed is useful for Electrode. The only reason it would be max speed is if it's Sash, and if it's Sash, then whatever. Anyways, I don't know. Then I have Screamtail. So my next Pokemon is Isaac. Anyways, it's got Flamethrower, Earth Power, Terra Blast, Dark Pulse. It is EV to survive a close combat from Toxicroak. And Dark Pulse is good into Dragapult. It's good into this Pokemon, the Magic Fox. Maybe there's some Terras it's good into. Heatran didn't have a lot of great moves for me this week out of Flamethrower and Earth Power. Like, I could have gone another Heat Wave, but I don't think I want Heat Wave most of the time. I feel like most of the time I'm fine just clicking single target moves here. And Terra Blast is really good, obviously, because Terra Blast, Terra Grass. It's good into Bundle. It's good into Mudsdale. Yeah, it's potentially good into some Terras. You never know. So that's why I have Terra Blast, Terra Grass. Isaac. So Isaac, I have Flying, Terra Flying. It's got Eviolite, Salt Cure, Recover, Iron Defense, Helping Hand. This fourth move, I wasn't really sure what to do. It's obviously max HP, good amount of defense, and then the rest in special defense. Salt Cure is just a long game winner. I kind of see this as an Annihilate answer, to be honest, because it resists Ghosts. So if it's like a Scarf, so I'm particularly thinking about Scarf Rage Fist here with the Electrode combo, or maybe even a Dragapult, Poltergeist, or Shadow Ball or something. Ghost moves are kind of scary to my team, and it's a way of dealing with those ghost moves and also just out sustaining through Iron Defense, Recover, and then Salt Cure over time, winning the war. Then I have Dr. Fieldstone as Brave Bird, Close Combat U-Turn. Brave Bird is good into Masquerain if it comes. It's good into Annihilate and Toxicroak, of course. Close Combat's really good into... It's just a strong stab move, but it's also good into Bundle. And if Bundle isn't Scarf, then it's outspeeding Iron Bundle, so it's going to be doing... Or if Bundle isn't Booster Energy, it's outspeeding, so it's going to be doing tons to it. Is going to be KOing it unless it's Sash, but I expect it to either be Booster or Sash, and most likely Booster. So yeah, there is that. And then U-turn is, pivot moves are always useful, especially on the Scarf Pokemon. Uh, and then Terra Blast, Terra Ground. If this is in lead and I see a Klefki, I can Terra Blast, Terra Ground, and just really ruin its day. Uh, I think as an option, it's at least an option for me. Um, Obviously, it leaves it still. I'm still weak to freeze dries, and but it also does make me immune to electric type attacks. So there is some benefit there. It is EV'd to outspeed. I believe this is just to outspeed max speed Ape with max speed Scarf Ape. But let me double check that. Okay, it does not actually outspeed. I don't remember exactly what the speed calc is for. It doesn't outspeed Scarf Ape. It does outspeed Adamant Scarf Ape. I would guess. I guess if I had to guess, it's there to maybe outspeed Booster Bundle and Tailwind. Maybe it's to outspeed Electrode and Tailwind, like Scarf Electrode or something. I don't really know. Scarf Toxicroak, although that's super unlikely. So I don't know. I don't really remember what the speed is for, uh, but it's for something. It honestly, it might be Booster Bundle and Tailwind. Although I don't think it does outspeed Booster Bundle and Tailwind. It's probably Booster. It's probably just Electrode and Tailwind. Next, it already outspeeds Electrode and Tailwind. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's probably Booster Bundle. Next, I have Rebecca. So I was kind of unsure what to do with Screamtail this week. For a while, it was Screams. I thought about Imprison Trick Room. I thought about just Trick Room. Um, and obviously, Encore Disable is really enticing. So I ultimately went with Mental Herb because getting taunted makes it borderline useless. So I just don't really like that. And also, it can get encored by Bundle, which also makes it borderline useless. So that's a concern. Anyways, Psychic Fangs, good to break screens in case of I need to, because Klefki is obviously a fantastic screen setter. Thunderwave is great as a means of speed control against a lot of the very fast Pokemon my opponent has. And then Encore and Disable are just both really good moves, right? You're never sad to Encore Disable somebody. Yeah, pretty much that. Then I have. And then Terra Steel is just a defensive Terra. I don't know if there's a better one. Because the problem is. The scariest thing for Rebecca is Terra Ghosts. Sorry about my cough. It hasn't gone away. And I don't, or is a Rage Fist from Annihilate, I think, because nothing else really threatens it. Yeah, really at all. So, but if I'm something that resists ghosts, then I'm something that's weak to fighting. But steel is still weak to fighting. It should be Terra Dark. My opponent doesn't have a prankster or anything, so but it's a good way to not be weak to Dragapult or whatever. So whatever. Terra Dark is fine. Um yeah, Terra Dark's fine. And then is EV'd max HP with some defense EVs, and it is 172 speed, which outspeeds it's outspeed Delphox. And then I have my Bar Trio, my Sandy Shocks, a very standard set, or it feels like a standard set. Um, I'm just giving it max speed because the EVs were left over from when I was unsure if I was what I was doing with it. I thought about Life Orb stuff earlier, but ultimately just going with Sash, max speed, max special attack. And its booster speed because it is there to outspeed. It was to outspeed Annihilate. So as you can see through a lot, and it's just got good moves, right? It has Thunderbolt, Earth Power, and Terragrass, Terrablast. Terragrass, Terrablast is almost exclusively for Mudsdale, although Terragrass, because I'm not really going to want to Terragrass in front of Bundle anyways, because what if it freeze dries? And it has the Sash for protection in that case. So yeah, that's my game plan. That's where I'm at. Uh, so thank you for watching, and I'll cut back when I'm in game. Okay, it took a while, but we're in our game. Oh my gosh, I did think about Cyclozar, potentially Scarf Cyclozar, and it is a little scary. I think I want to start Roaring Moon, Ted, Dr. Fieldstone, Bar Trio. It's the lead I've thought about the most. No Klefki is interesting though. It makes me think I can do other things. Because without Klefki, I can do Roaring Moon, Dr. Fieldstone. Now I can threaten close combat on Cyclozar. Yeah, and then Ted, Bar Trio in the back. Because I didn't want to have the same damage type up front if it was Klefki was here, but without Klefki, I'm kind of incentivized to have the same damage type, I think. Bundle, Toxicroak. Okay, this is a little bit of a scary combo. I think I want to protect. Icy Wind is scary. It is booster speed, like I thought. And then, if it fakes out Dr. Fieldstone, whatever, I'm going to close combat the bundle. Protect against Icy Wind, stuff like that. Icy Wind close combat combo, something like that. Icy Wind is obviously scary for my opponent because of Dr. Fieldstone with Defiant. And I know it's not Sash. Fake out, okay. Freeze Dry into that. Tailwind. And now I can Brave Bird the Toxicroak. Because this will still outspeed the Tailwind. Tailwind I can still Brave Bird Toxicroak. Because this should never KO. So I can Tailwind safely and then Brave Bird the Toxicroak safely. Tailwind, Brave Bird. I think. This should work. Freeze Dry. Oh, it KO'd. Okay, well that's bad. Terra Grass makes sense. Flamethrower, and then Thunderbolt into this. I should have thought about Thunderbolt KOs. Oh my god, it lives on 1, but it gets the burn. Okay, and the Terra Grass saves it, and then the burn. Oh, but the poison. Okay. So what are the Pokemon in the back? Dragapult, Delphox. Dark Pulse into Dragapult, Earth Power to Delphox. Have they Terra'd yet? No. Which makes me want to double up. I kind of want to double up on Delphox. Earth Power. Flamethrower, Earth Power on the Delphox. Because that should always KO. And that way I am... Oh, if it's Scarf Delphox, though. I mean, if it's Scarf, then Earth Power KOs. Let me Dark Pulse Earth Power Delphox. Oh. If I had Flamethrowered. Oh, if I had Flamethrowered. Oh, and the flinch! Okay, so... Now I always Dark Pulse into Dragapult, and I Earth Power to Delphox. Because the Phantom Force goes before, and then I can... Does it KO? No, and I get the Dark Pulse off. And now I can Earth Power... Earth Power? Okay. And now I Earth Power it, and hopefully this KOs. Because I live, and then I get the KO. Okay. GG. Wow, what a fast game 1. Um, okay, well, I got the replay there. Okay. Okay. Do I want to change anything? I was a bit unlucky from them. They got really unlucky. So, Roaring Moon. I think I still like the lead. I think I just didn't properly consider stuff. Okay, and now I want to have the same in the back, though, I think. Different. Okay. So this is interesting. What do I know? All I know is it has freeze dry, and I know nothing about Cyclozar. Do I know that this was Scarf? No, but I think it is. I'm pretty confident that that's Scarf, which means Cyclozar isn't Scarf, which means I'm outspeeding Cyclozar. But I still want Tailwind. And then I think close combating Cyclozar just makes sense here. Um, can I close combat Iron Bundle? Tailwind close combat the. I want to close combat Cyclozar. Oh, the miss is so huge. Oh. Okay, I'm still getting outsped by Iron Bundle, but this isn't anymore. I'm sorry. That's rough. That's really rough. I think I wasn't going to outspeed Cyclozar after that. Terraflying Acrobatics, and then close combat the. So I can close combat the ape, but there's a good chance it protects. I mean, Icy Wind did 50%. Terraflying Acrobatics ape, and then just close combat bundle. Okay. Oh my god, and I get the crit. Okay. I'm still gonna acrobatics ape, close combat the bundle. I mean now I protect and I close combat bundle, I think. Okay, nope. Well, that burned a turn of Tailwind. Um, Ape protected so I can crunch into it. And then put out Ted. But I still get the Tailwind off for free. And now I can Dark Pulse the Dragapult. Am I faster than Dragapult? Yeah, I'm. That's what I was EV to do as Heatran. I'm faster than max speed Dragapult. So I Tailwind and then I Dark Pulse Dragapult. Because I always get the Tailwind because I'm booster speed here. And I think that this is just GG's. I don't see a way I lose. I don't want to speak too early. Oh, it's faster. Wait, what? Is it Scarf? um. Oh, it's. What? How is it faster? Am I crazy? It still had booster speed. It must be Scarf Dragapult? acrobatics, flamethrower bundle. Okay, yeah. Um, Now I have to Thunderbolt bundle and then Dark Pulse Dragapult. Okay. Yeah, it's Scarf Dragapult. Okay, so now I just Earth Power and I Dark Pulse. And now I Earth Power and I Dark Pulse. GG. Earth Power and I Dark Pulse. GG's. Okay, well, that's the set. I don't feel like I played particularly well, or like I didn't play poorly. I played pretty poorly with game two, not considering how the icy wind was gonna pretty ruin my game plan a lot, or at least potentially would. I should have played differently. Um, Obviously, just a really unfortunate set from RNG perspective. Would have liked to see how a game three went. I got like ridiculously lucky. Um, so that's that's Pokemon. That happens sometimes. Happy to have won my first playoff match, and excited to see who I play next. Thank you for watching.